Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Azukail Games YouTube channel. Today I have something a little bit special, and I'm very excited about it, actually. I recently received copies of my first ever RPG that I have written with the help of several other individuals on the team, and I wanted to do an unboxing for it today because this will be the first time I've ever had a full game of my own that I've written, and it'll be one of a handful of times I've actually gotten books of my own in the mail. And even though it was produced by High Level Games, there's a very, very good likelihood that you're going to see some stuff for this game coming out from Azukail Games in the future. So I wanted to kind of give everybody a preview as to what's going on, and if you're interested and you missed the Kickstarter when this was all going on, you can get yourself a copy of the book and see whether or not this is something you can look forward to with everyone else. But without further ado, let's get to the unboxing, and you can see what it is I'm practically bouncing out of my seat about. Now, this box here is one of two that I received full of my game, and I am really excited to get to it. Big thanks again to Josh Heath for sending me this one, as well as the other box you can see in the background there. And let's take our unboxing knife and see if we can get some nonsense open here. Remember, always cut away from you. This is something I tend to make exceptions for, but needs be when the devil drives, as they say. It's very tightly packed. As you can see, there's a lot of books in here, but we at least just need to see one of them. So, get ourselves... Huzzah! We made it through without hurting ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Army Men, a game of tactical plastic. We clearly have some covering to take off of these, so let me get this one freed from its prison. For those who are curious, the artwork in question, this is actually something that I worked with Josh on when we were figuring out how we were going to do this, is we wanted it to look like a military training manual, so that way it would really add into the meta of the game. And for folks who have missed previous videos where I've talked about this game, it's a 5th edition D&D based game where we added a lot of extra tactical elements, and the basic gist of it is that you play plastic people in a plastic world, and you have to save your nation and your fellow people from the threat of gigantic insects known as the Vespoids, among other threats that will hopefully be manifest as we go on. But for those who haven't seen the art, it's very plain on the cover, but as soon as you get into things, we have our beautiful 5th edition compatible mark there. And it's very, very smooth, very glossy. Text is very easy to lay out, and we have gorgeous artwork. It's hard to show up in some of this because I'm getting glare from my lamp. But we have stuff by Anonymous Katsudon, I believe is the name she goes under. If you're an RPG creator looking for awesome artwork, I highly recommend looking her up. She does great work. And that's your basic setup for most games. We have a lot of different options for things people can pursue, and it's just really great holding this in my hand, and it's really choking me up a little bit. I might not should have done this first thing in the morning, but I am really looking forward to getting a more in-depth look at some of this, and I'm probably going to talk more about it as we go on, and give you a full rundown as soon as I get back to my other camera. So give me a moment, and I will be back with all of you. So apologies for being a little bit rambly, but I woke up first thing today, and I just had to get to that unboxing. It was on my mind when I went to sleep. I'd had these books in my place ever since yesterday, and I hadn't gotten around to it, and I had to make myself wait because I wanted to show it to all of you out there. But what I'm excited about, in addition to just having my own RPG that I can now take and see other people play and enjoy, is that Army Men is a really weird concept, and it covers a lot of things I've wanted D&D's 5th edition to have since it came out, and I hadn't really seen too many people add a bunch of stuff to it. So in addition to the tactical rules that I mentioned, it's a squad-based game where you are all part of the Plastos Federation. So you have the 4 nations that make up this sort of League of Nations, and you're all attempting to keep yourselves and your comrades alive as you are being beset on all sides by gigantic insectoid menaces that also look like they probably came out of the discount aisle of the Dollar General. So what we have here is an action-packed RPG with some very simple goals, some very simple mechanics, and you and your fellow players are going to be facing a lot of really strange threats to protect yourselves and to keep those you love safe and to defend your homeland, essentially. And my hope, now that the game is out and I'm already hard at work on supplements for it, is that folks are going to want to delve deeper into this world and this setting. They're going to want to know, what are the Vespoids? Where did they come from? Why are they attacking us? What are some of the other threats that are lurking just outside of our mission briefings? What are the things that they're whispering about in command that they don't want us grunts to know? And I won't say it's a completely unique experience, unlike anything you've ever played, but I will say that lots of the setup, lots of the structure for Army Men is really unique, and it's not something you're going to find in every RPG out there, especially not every RPG that uses the mechanics that are now in the, I wanted to say public domain, that's the wrong term, but which are now more freely available to all of us after the OGL kerfuffle earlier last year. And it's a thing that, while the Kickstarter was successful, obviously I have my books, it wasn't so big that we could just keep producing books for it, for years to come. So here's what I need everybody who is here today and watching this video to do to help me out with this. If you are curious about Army Men, if you really like it, check out the link below to learn more information or to get your own copy if you were not one of the backers and you haven't gotten your book yet. And if there is something you're curious about with this particular game, if there's a question you have, or if there's a curiosity that hasn't been answered yet, either in this video or if you've checked out the other videos I've done either on the High Level Games channel or in the blog entries I've written about it, leave it in the comments below. I want to answer all the questions players might have before they pick up my game. And if you ask something that either hasn't been covered yet or that I have no plans to cover yet, this might spark me to work on a particular supplement. And speaking of supplements, because the initial Kickstarter was successful, but not so successful that we could just immediately go in and start backing more bigger projects, we're going to be getting a couple of smaller pieces, and this is where Azukail Games comes in. I have spoken with Adrian already. We've got a couple of pilot projects that we're going to be working on, one of which I just started work on recently is called Medals of Honor. And this is going to be an additional optional system for game masters to use with their players. Of when players accomplish certain things in game, they have the option of receiving a medal, which, in addition to a story conceit and just a thing that really plays into the meta of the game, it will give you an ability that you can use. It might be a social bonus if there's people who know what this particular medal is for. It might be a new ability that a squad or players get because they've accomplished this task in the past, so now they get sort of a chit they can cash in whenever it comes in, whether it helps them maintain morale in the force of overwhelming enemies, whether it helps them reroll a certain attack because their marksmanship is so noted, they've been awarded for it. So my hope is that in addition to adding to the story of the Federation and all the worlds within it, that folks really latch onto this and they want to try something new, they want to try something different. Now, this game may not be to everybody's speed, it may not be a thing that everyone really gets behind, but I think it's worth checking out, and I'm very excited about it, and I'm going to get back to work now on expanding the setting and giving you all more options to play with. So again, check out the links in the description below, and stay tuned if you want to find out more of what's going to be coming out of Army Men, a game of tactical plastic. Till next time, happy gaming, everybody.